More socket means more power will be drawn, and so we need to upgrade the circuit breaker. But the problem comes in where, remember, we are avoiding your story ya bora iwake. Tunataka kazi bora, sio bora kazi.
And please subscribe. I give you this opportunity. Welcome to DaveCha Moments. This is another episode on electrical awareness. We are here to educate you. We are here to inform you. We are here to ensure that you get the best out of your domestic life and ensuring that everything happens well when it comes to power, energy, and electronics in your house and general domestic well-being. Welcome again. And today again, as usual, I've got my great friend, Steamerman, Jeroboam Kimtai. How are you?
I am fine.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
Yes, Pastor.
It has been long kidogo.
It has been long kidogo. We had a week between us.
Yeah, some week there. But we thank God.
I also thank God because of your healing.
Yeah.
That was the reason why we didn't do.
Yeah, I was not feeling well. But I thank God because I'm well now. You know, it's good to thank God for this very small things. You see, uko hapo, huwezi kula, si ati una fast. You're not fasting.
Na chakula iko.
Alafu sasa ndio my wife asks me, utakula nini? Sasa nitakula nini na haiwezi ingia.
Your throat sasa mara chakula inapitia. The gullet.
Yes, ni uchungu. So I realized that there are small things as simple as swallowing food. You can always thank God for very simple things.
Very simple. Yeah.
Somebody has a mouth that cannot even swallow food. I realized that kila kitu ni muhimu. Mdomo ikiwa chungu ama ulimi ikiwa chungu, you realize that maisha yanakuwa ngumu kidogo.
Kila kitu kwa mwili. Kila kitu kwa mwili iko na function yake.
You see that is why sometimes I wonder. God has endowed us differently. And sometimes what I'm asking God to somebody else, you know, what I lack to somebody else, anasema tu, yani huyu si chenye ako nayo imetosha. So I always see what I don't want. And that is why sometimes I live an unsatisfied person. I live a life, I feel that ningekuwa kama Jero, at least ningekuwa better. Ningekuwa tu na gari. Kama Jero, I feel my life ingekuwa better. But sometimes somebody is there, si hata gari,
mguu peke yake ana shida.
Ningekuwa na mguu
tu,
ningetembea. Sasa mimi niko na mguu, but I'm not satisfied with what God has given me, and I want something else. So I will always feel that when you get that next thing, life would become better.
That next thing would become not will.
No, would, because when we reach there, when you get it, realize that it's not the end. You still want another thing.
I get
so
you.
I think if we would appreciate where we are now and thank God for who we are now, it will help us live satisfied and happy lives as we trust God even for better things ahead.
Sure.
That's what I learned. As simple as, my friend, hiyo wiki my wife alikuwa ananiangalia na ananionea huruma.
Yes.
Aleta hii siwezi kula. Aleta hii nikuletee nini? Ares kumbe hata hii tu mdomo chakula kupita
tu.
My friend, you should thank God.
Hata kumeza mate inaleta shida.
Wewe hata kumeza mate ni chuku. Haipiti. But we thank God. So I think we should learn to appreciate where we are.
Yeah, sure.
Where we are si bure. Kuna vile Mungu ndio ametuweka. What we have today ni Mungu tu ametupatia. If you thank him for today, for who we are now. You know, sometimes uko hapa, pengine I need money from you. Kijeru nataka 50,000. Kwa mtu mwingine, only 100 bob is an answered prayer. 100 bob is an answered prayer.
Exactly. Ndio sasa. Yani kila wakati we shall always live to be in need, in short.
Yes.
As human beings.
Always. So the only best thing is to thank God for where we are. But the way we thank God for where we are now, we look back. We don't look backward, we look back.
Back, not backward. Back.
We look back. There's a difference between looking backward
and looking back. Sure.
Well, when we look back, we look what God has done. Yenyewe kuna hiyo distance, kuna vile Mungu amenisaidia.
Unaweza sema sasa
Ebeneza. But when you look backward, utakuwa na uchungu. Sikusaidiwa na ngo yangu. Opportunity ilitokelezea. Hiyo biashara jamaa alikula pesa yangu. Wezi waliku. That's looking backward. It's a lot of pain and anger and unforgiveness. But when you look back,
you're able to rejoice.
I am here
because of God.
Because of God.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. I hope you're good.
We are good.
Yeah.
We swing into our thing
today.
Yes,
we swing into our thing, and today there is something we started last week.
Yes.
About wiring. Na hiyo nataka tuongelee about wiring. Wiring. Nataka utusaidie because ulisema kuna radio circuit
na ring.
Oh, na ring. Thank you.
Radio na ring circuit.
Radio na ring circuit. So I think we need to know the differences and why do we need one over the other maybe. Are there downside of each of them? Because ulisema kuna ingine inalupiwa. Na kuna ingine tu ni moja inaenda
tu ikifika mahali na kuishia hapo.
I think it will be good so that those who do wiring people are able to understand. Yeah. So give us the differences.
We were doing, what were we doing in the last episode? We were learning about renovations
and demolitions.
Okay, again we talked about
extensions
such that if you lengthen and add additional sockets, more power will be drawn from the same circuit.
I remember we also said that we need even to look at the size of the wire.
Yeah. Now that one is what actually has introduced this week's episode about ring and radial circuits. Ring and radial circuits.
Yeah.
So let's explain and see.
Explain what do we mean by ring and radial.
Viewers, we have ring and radial circuits. There are two. Ring kama tu ring hii inavaliwa hapa, wewe uko na yako. Ring. Kitu inaendanga round, haina mwisho. Ring nivo hata kwa stima.
Okay.
When it comes to wires.
Okay.
Lakini radio nayo inafika mahali it is not complete. It's not a circle. Inafikia mahali inaweza kuja mpaka karibia kwa consumer unit kabisa, but it just ends there.
Okay.
Now in ring circuit, the cables leave the consumer unit. The cables leave the consumer unit, both the earth, neutral, and live, and then to all points of use, and then from the end point of use, it goes back to the consumer unit.
Okay.
That is ring circuit.
Oh.
Alright. Wires zinatoka kwa consumer unit,
zikiwa tatu,
inapita kwa socket, inaenda kwa socket ingine, inaenda ikifika kwa socket ya mwisho, hiyo socket ya mwisho returns, other wires come from the last socket to the consumer unit in the same circuit breaker.
So inaeka tu hapo same
circuit breaker.
Oh.
Yes, same kama ni live ni same kwa same circuit breaker.
So kama
kwa ring
imekimbia tu huko tena mpaka huko.
Imeshikana.
Okay.
Imekuwa kitu kama circle. That is ring. Okay. Radial nayo, the radial circuit, in radial circuit, the cables leave the consumer unit to all points of use in that circuit. Okay. And then when it reaches the last point, it ends there. The wires don't go back to the consumer unit. Okay, that is radial. Example.
So it has an end.
It has an end. Radial has an end. Ring goes back to the consumer unit. Yeah. So within that circuit, hizo points zote zinaisha, and then back to the consumer unit. That is ring. But radial, it has an end, just as you have put it. Now, examples of radial wiring are in lighting. Most of the lighting ni radial tu, ikifika kwa the light it ends there. Okay. Cooker cooker sockets.
Oh,
sockets
inakuishia hapo.
Water heater. Water heater points. Ikifika kwa shower kwa head zinakwamia tu hapo. Hakuna
vile kuitoa tena kurudisha huko.
Most of the lighting hata kwa gate lights huko
ni
mwisho. Bell mwisho. Fans mwisho. Hiyo ni radial sasa. Lakini socket kwa sababu ni outputs hizo, it goes back to the consumer unit. Now that is the difference. We have said about
so the ring only applies to sockets.
The ring, yeah.
So sockets. Hizo otherwise vitu zingine lights, cooker, instant heaters, hizo ya shower, hizo zinataka radio.
It's not at in sheria fulani, but most of the time
applications,
circumstances tu zimelead kuonekana kwamba most of the sockets ndio ziko kwa ring. Alafu lighting, you can do ring also in lighting, no problem, but mostly haina haja. Haina haja sana. Sababu haipo, lakini kulingana vile wiring imefanywa imekuwa hivyo vile ilivyo. Sawa. Okay.
Thank you.
So why do we have ring circuits then?
Okay, why?
Yeah, I'm asking this question because last time you remember I told you about some of the drawbacks of ring circuit. One of it being the fielding, magnetic fields. And another one is we shall get it from this lesson today, from this episode today. Long ago, ring circuit was not there. Okay.
Yeah.
So why did this ring circuit come in place? During the Second World War, or towards the end of Second World War, or at the end of Second World War, thereabout.
What comes to my mind is Hitler. Continue.
Second World War was between 1939 to 1945.
Yes.
Yeah, Second World War. Ingine ilikuwa 1914 to 1918. I think my memory serves me right. Actually, the teacher who taught us about the Second and First World War was in primary school. Anaitwa Mr. Kiberenge.
Yani wewe
mpaka was good.
Primary school bado unakumbuka?
GHC. Civics history and
GHCR. Okay.
Ilikuwa ni civics. Alafu H is for history. And geography. Alafu R is for religion. CRE. GHCR. This time in the Second World War is when ring circuit was introduced. This was because of reduction in the use of the amount of copper. You know, more copper means more cost. Now this is what happened. When you have a radial wiring, especially in the sockets, when you are introducing more socket outlets, it means there's more consumption of energy. Okay. Up to there now we know that if you had the original 20 amps circuit breaker, you will be forced to upgrade the circuit breaker up to 32 amp circuit breaker. All right. For you to for it to be able to accommodate the more socket outlets. But that is where the problem begins. Why? Because as we said, 2.5 millimeters squared is the thickness of cable that is for the sockets.
Yes.
Now this kind of cable is able to carry up to 27 amperes of current.
Okay.
27. Now you have introduced more sockets that has necessitated, has forced you to upgrade up to 32 circuit breaker. It means this circuit breaker will release up to 32 amps.
Yeah.
Kweli? Releasing to the socket that the maximum of current that can go through is 27. So inamaanisha hiyo 32 amps imeshinda uzito hii cable. So it will heat up. It will do a lot of things. Sindio? Okay. Now what this means is you are supposed to upgrade the cable again. Up to now the next gauge is 4.0. 4.0 millimeters squared. for it to carry that number of sockets and with the 32 amp circuit breaker. Umeona sasa vile nakuja. But this one now, he cable 4.0 is more expensive.
Yeah.
But there has been war. We don't have that money.
Yes.
So the think tank in the UK mostly now started exploiting
the various
ways in which we can save the cost. So they said we can maintain this cable, but still carry a lot of, but still support more sockets that we want. Okay, but again, let's see how we can divide this current into two. Then they remembered, no, the current flows in different directions. So if we put it flow in this direction, it will still go. Flow in this direction, it will still go. It will still flow. So if we connected it back into ring, this circuit breaker of 32 amp, we shall divide the direction of this circuit breaker into half, up to around 16 and 16. Now this became safe because this is lower than the amount the 2.5 cable can carry, which is 27 amperes. So they divided like that.
Oh, so if you put now the ring light, it reduces the amp.
Yeah. Because now, so we said it's coming from to the same circuit breaker. It is ring. Half goes this way, half goes this other way. Okay. So that means we shall be able to carry more sockets with the 2.5, but we can still upgrade the circuit breaker.
Yeah, without now. I mean, overheating now.
Without overheating, because our problem has begun from the circuit breaker. More socket means more power will be drawn, and so we need to upgrade the circuit breaker. But the problem comes in where the cable cannot be able to support up to 32 amperes. It supports up to 27 amperes. So ring circuits divides the power that passes through, so that these other sockets are supported from this direction. These other sockets are supported from this direction. That is how ring circuits was introduced.
Okay.
Yes, it was because of lack of some funds to support.
And of course now as time goes, realize that copper becomes less and less. People now make cables with less amount of copper.
Yes, even if it were there, it is more expensive. You cannot be able to afford to buy. So that is how ring circuit was introduced.
Oh.
Yes.
So you also do it when you do your work, or it depends. You discuss with the owner. Okay.
Goodness is normal sockets are not do not support a lot of things in domestic use.
Or for
mostly it is just electronics. And then should you have a socket, say, in the bedroom, another socket in the sitting room, even if you had even 4 in the sitting room, you will only use one at a go or 2. But say if there's a television here, and mostly people concentrate a lot of load in one socket. So we've not had instances where we are required to do a lot of ring.
So it depends now.
It depends
with the load.
But if the customer is able to buy enough wires, because when we do quotation, we do both. For the socket, I'll do this. This is what will cost with the ring wiring. This is what will cost with the radio wiring. So the customer will be able to. I give also advantages and disadvantages.
So you give them the whole picture.
And then now when the customer makes decision, he makes a decision from an informed perspective. Isikuwe tu yenye ifanya tu bora iwake. Remember, we are avoiding your story ya bora iwake. Tunataka kazi bora, sio bora kazi. So that is how things came. Now, ring circuits, as you said earlier, are typically for sockets. For sockets,
at least
that is
that's where they work
mostly. Now, in summary, a 32 ampere radial circuits must be wired with the 4.0 millimeter cable. Radio, keyword is radio, because it is straight. Kifika hapo kama ni 32 mwisho ni hapo, iko na direction moja peke yake yenye current ina flow. So unahitaji cable kubwa yenye na carry more than 32.
Na hiyo 4.0 si ni kubwa?
Si kubwa sana.
Si kubwa sana.
It's between, so unajua 6.0. Mostly 6.0 ndio tunaijua, so it's between 2.5 and 6.0. It's affordable.
It's affordable.
It's affordable. But mostly now, before you finish an apartment like this, umevuruta, pesa zimeenda. So that is where we see. Kwa sababu again 2.5 ikienda ring itaenda mingi bado. So you see that distance, if you'll be able to employ 4.0 or 2.5. So there are many factors that will help to choose, but we are concentrating on why was ring circuit introduced. So we have said 32 radial circuit, lazima itumie nini? Itumie 4.0. Lakini ring circuit hata kama ni 32 amp circuit breaker unaweza tumia nini? Unaweza tumia 2.5 cable. Alright? But kwa nini why are we talking about 32 amperes? Because most of the people are tempted to put more highly gauged, highly rated circuit breakers ndio support mingi, but remember inaachilia current mingi. So consider also cables when you are considering circuit breakers. Consider cables also.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah,
I think now we know something special, and yes. Difference between the radial and the ring.
The radial and the ring.
I think this is a good information, especially for those who are doing wiring, even in the house. Tafadhali ukijenga nyumba nao uko na information, muulize huyo fundi. Unaweka radial ama
unaweka ring wiring circuit.
I was it's good to ask, it's good to know such. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes.
Let's finish it at that. And please subscribe. I give you this opportunity. Please subscribe. When you subscribe and you like the video and you share it, YouTube inajua hapa kuna kitu kizuri kinaendelea, and able to even present it to more people outside there.
Yes.
Please subscribe. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time. Otherwise, have a great time. Bye.